Friday!
Happy Friday. What is up, Internet?
This is really filling me up.
Yeah, I know. We're going to have to switch. But we're going to switch after we're done with this.
Yeah.
And the intro, which is starting now.
Is it me?
Intro. Boom. Yeah.
This is our show.
This is the ABCs of bad movies.
Can you fucking turn it down? I'm trying to record a show
Turn
over
it
here.
down!
Do you fucking mind?
Do you?
This is the ABCs of bad movies with Alex and Jeff, where we watch bad movies and then talk about them, but we go by the alphabet. And today is of the letter E.
Quite possibly the best intro.
I liked it.
5 letters into this thing.
E is for one of those cool guns that every time you fire it, it rotates in a new bullet.
What's the name of that gun?
I don't know. What is it called?
It's called an Evolver?
No, it's called a revolver.
Oh, well, that's what we're watching today anyways.
We're not watching Revolver.
No, we're watching a movie called Evolver.
We're watching a movie called Evolver. That was my line. You read my line.
Sorry.
Why don't you read the description?
Meet Evolver, the ultimate toy for the cyberpunk generation. A virtual reality game brought to fierce, three-dimensional life.
That's right. This movie that was released in 1995, directed by Mark Rosman.
Yep.
Starring Ethan Embry, Cassidy Ray, and Nassira Nicola. So that sounds... Was that Russian? I don't know.
Check.
Before we hit
Slovak.
play on this fucker, I want to finish this alcoholic seltzer.
Yeah, we gotta finish these because they're just like making us burp and
They're making us really gassy, and
yeah.
I haven't even finished one, and I'm gonna be gassy the whole damn day.
It's gonna be a struggle. So we're gonna smash. All right, you want to just? I only have like a quarter left.
I'm not a chugger.
You know who's in this movie? Well, I don't know if you care.
I'm trying to record.
Wow.
Shut up for a
Hostility from the Peanut Gallery and the Active Live Circle.
William H. Macy.
William H. Macy's in this movie? Are you fucking serious? Let's get this shit started.
Give some detail on William H. Macy.
He was in Jurassic Park 3.
What?
He was in
what?
He was in Wild Hogs with Martin Lawrence and John Travolta and who's the guy from Goodfellas?
I don't know.
It's not Joe Pesci.
Alright, so before we start this, gonna do a quick beer exchange.
Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta was the guy from Goodfellas.
Yoda?
Ray Liotta.
Ray and Yoda?
No. I feel so full. That's drink number 1, and I am ready.
I'm ready. Choose your poison. Do you want to go surfing or you want to go canoeing?
Big wave, please. I'll take the big wave.
Good choice. That's actually one of my faves.
I think it's alright. Cheers.
Cheers to evolving. With an evolver. Alright, that's kind of cool. Isn't that like robot sexual harassment? Do you come with
Moist,
do you come with
self-lubricating
a Kleenex dispenser?
moist holes.
What is going on?
Is he saying he wants to send the robot in so they could record naked underage girls?
I think so.
Oh my god!
What?
Are you fucking serious? Immediately? You can't do this, movie! This is wild that they're doing this. This is... Oh my god! Oh my god! You can't do that. Mark Rosman.
What is going on?
Mark Rosman? You can't do that.
Oh, that's a boy.
Oh my god.
Can
Can
they do that?
This is a high school. Stop doing this.
What the fuck? It wouldn't hurt if you just boned me a little bit.
My dad left and your dad left and we're both horny, but I'm too stupid to realize that you're also horny. All you ever think about is your fucking vagina.
Is your beepus.
Quit thinking with your lady beepus. Who's this horny girl that keeps following you around? She's horny?
Oh, it's got sass. There's only one entrance into this kitchen, apparently. I find that even more disturbing than the fact that there's a murderous robot. There's one entrance to the kitchen. So there's 2 entrances to the kitchen, but the robot didn't know that. Wow. I am kind of blown away by that movie on a few fronts. and all of them are bad.
Hey, this is the ABCs of Bad Movies with Jeff and Alex.
Hey-oo.
Where we watch bad movies in alphabetical order, and today we're on the E.
Today we're on the letter E, and we have watched Evolver, 1995 by Mark Rosman. And we just finished watching the movie, and honestly had to take a little bit to digest what just happened.
A lot happened.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to soak in. There's a little bit of 95 for me. There's a little bit of 95 nostalgia, because I was a total of 2 years old back then. And I totally remember everything when I was 2 years old. Not really.
What a year!
What a year!
One of my favorites.
Mom tells me I rode a bike at 2, but I don't know how much I believe her.
My mom said that I didn't speak until I was 1.5 or 2, which is way too late.
Yeah, that's
So
is my child a mute?
They assumed that I had some sort of mental problem, and then and I would just.
And it turns out you do. You what?
It turns out that I don't know what was wrong with me, but there was some family gathering where I was just following around all my cousins who could all talk, and I wasn't saying anything, and then they left, and then I just started speaking in full sentences to my mom after they left.
You evolved. One could say you evolved.
I guess I evolved. It's like in the movie.
Yeah, you went to level 2. Evolve level 2.
Yeah,
where were we? What were we talking about?
We can do recap.
Yeah,
Plot
recap.
synopsis.
Yeah, here we go. All right.
Kid in a virtual reality arcade, a V-arcade.
Yeah, V-arcade.
Is the term I coined.
Kyle Baxter?
Kyle Baxter
I think that's his name.
is playing the VR game. He's on the final level. His friend is acting as a bookie, taking bets. And then a bully shows up and bets against him, and then he's fighting a robot in a room of virtual mirrors.
A room full of mirrors, yeah.
And then another player shows up out of nowhere, and then Kyle dies, and then we see that it was a girl playing the game, and then he runs off and yells at her.
It's hey, why'd you ruin my game? Also, point to note here that this room was full.
It was full of people.
And nobody noticed player 2 joining in the last level, which, by the way, I have no idea how that's
They were so engrossed in the game.
Well, I have no idea how that's a thing where player 2 can join at any time.
I'll let it pass because it's an arcade and it's clearly a 2-player game, so probably she just dropped in her tokens.
That's probably true. I forgot about yeah, you're right. She probably did drop in tokens and just picked it up.
Because back in 1995, arcades were very big, I think.
Yeah, so they were. I mean, all the way up. I remember I still went to the arcade when I was in 2000.
I remember being old enough to remember going to arcades for birthday parties.
Yeah, that was still a good time. All right, so after this whole VR, he meets this girl, and she's
Dave and Buster's.
She's by the way,
that's basically a giant arcade.
It is. Yeah,
I'm not trying to. Sorry for cutting you off.
So the girl is basically hey, I just moved from Ohio. I don't know proper V-arcade rules.
V-arcade etiquette.
Yeah, so sorry I ruined your thing. Big whoop. Who cares about this game?
V-arcade etiquette.
Yeah. By the way, I wonder how many tokens it was to play that game in 1995.
It's probably just a nickel.
A good old nickel.
Yeah,
no,
nice
it was at least $1.
A silver dollar.
It was at least $1 to play that game.
It'll be one Susan B. Anthony for you.
Yeah, fear. So, all right. So, what happens next?
The kid goes back to his home with his friend.
Yeah, and it's a total 90s
posters
room.
everywhere. It's all about computers and stuff. Very teenage room. It's full of posters. There's even warning signs on the outside of the door.
It's Fallout warning.
Yeah. Warning, boys jerking it in here. Keep the fuck out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
He hacks into the game company's database.
The game that he's playing is called Evolver. And basically the virtual reality game is there's a little robot that evolves as you beat the levels. There's 4 levels.
Harder.
Yeah, and every time it gets more and more difficult. And so nobody beats the last round. That's the whole trope of the game. And in the VR, he comes to the last level and then dies.
Yeah.
So and there's a competition.
Competition to win the robot from the game.
Yes, as your own personal house evolver robot.
It's like
thing.
VR, but without the virtual part.
Yeah, he comes into your house and you play the evolver game in your house, which is kind of cool. If you think about it, back in the 90s, that would have been a really cool
That would
toy.
have been a great toy that kids would have played with on Christmas Day when they opened it up for about 30 minutes and then never played it again. Yeah.
Yeah, they would have gone back to their Super Nintendo,
Yeah.
played some Mario.
No,
So-
he had a normal Nintendo.
Well, was it?
Yeah.
I missed that then.
The controller had the black with like the red buttons.
Gotcha.
And it was a square, the rectangle
Yeah.
controller.
So the shady friend that did the whole gambling thing, like
Tells
I bet
him
he
to
wins.
hack the high scores.
Yeah, he's like,
which
well,
I don't know.
You basically
I don't know
won.
how-
If the broad wouldn't have messed up your game.
If this stupid woman with her stupid vagina wouldn't fucking get in your fucking way.
Yeah, so he's basically like, you need to hack into the system and win. And, like, you know, make it so that you win this robot. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Because he was out of first place by 55 points. So he,
Yeah.
like, rationalized it, like, oh, if you weren't distracted, and,
Yeah, you would have gotten the points.
yeah.
So,
he, we find out the next day that he did do it and cheated and got it. So
Yeah.
he shows up from school the next day, and there's people there, like, with a van, and they're like, you won the prize.
surprise!
Surprise, you won the prize.
And he's like,
That's
what
right.
a surprise.
I
mean,
totally, legitimately won.
yeah. This is also when we meet his mother for the first time, and she's like, what is going on? You could have told me you won a
No,
competition.
you met her the night before.
But she just kind of
As
left.
the little sister is cooking food.
Meatloaf.
Cooking meatloaf, complaining about how it's drying out.
Yeah, and then seasoning a salad. True,
Yeah. She cares about her craft.
she does.
I thought they were going to involve the girl doing cooking stuff way more,
I
but they
know.
absolutely didn't.
I'm glad they didn't, because that would have been really boring.
I would have loved it. What character development?
So,
Make that character like more than one dimension, that 8-year-old character.
yeah.
So they get the CEO of the company's there, and the scientist that made the robot is there, and they unbox it. The box opens, and all the fog from the fog machine that they shot into the box when they
Yeah.
sealed it up opens, and the thing rolls out, and it like calibrates itself to the room. And they put on these goggles. They
Yeah.
put on these glasses that like help the machine mark who an opponent is in the game. And they have little laser guns. It's like laser tag.
Yeah,
With a
real life
robot.
laser tag with a robot.
And you shoot it a certain amount of times in the targets, and then you win.
Yeah, the scientist goes on, the guy who made the robot goes on to explain, like, every level, it evolves and
It gets
becomes part
better.
of the
It
game.
adapts to where you're playing.
Yeah,
and what
and
you're
nobody's beaten level 4.
doing.
So it's like, that's your challenge. Nobody's beaten level 4. And we're like, okay, that
It's
sounds
gonna
fun.
record everything you're doing. When it's loaded up a full thing of recording on the mini disc that it has, it'll eject the disc, and then you mail that to us, and then put a new disc in so it can record everything.
Yeah,
So
because it's a prototype. They
they-
want to send this out to all the little kids on Christmas Day.
the mom says she doesn't want the thing in her house, then immediately wanders off.
Yeah, she's
not
like,
to be seen.
you crazy kids.
She goes into the kitchen. The kids are playing. It's the girl shows up from the day before. She found out where he lived because a friend told her where he lives.
Super creepy.
Creepy.
Super creepy.
Note to all the fucking ladies out there: don't find someone's address just because you want to choke on some chode.
Yeah.
So the best friend, the girl,
and
the
little
the main
sister.
guy, and the little sister are all playing.
it shoots
eventually
out little foam balls.
Yeah, it has these little foam balls, and it shoots them at you. And if it hits you, it like deducts like a quarter of your health. If you get hit 4 times, you die. So it hits
Die.
the sister, the little sister, enough where, and she like falls down.
She's like, kill confirmed.
But then she gets up, and she still wants to play because she's a little kid and she wants to play the game. And it's like kill not confirmed, and it just starts like railing her with foam balls where she falls down again.
She goes behind the couch.
Yeah, she's hiding because it keeps pelting her with foam balls. Then the main
main-
character hits the one of the targets on the bullseye, which is like an insta kill. So it like powers down, and it's like level 2 achieved, and then
It's like, do you want to play again?
it's like later we'll play later. We like cut to him in the room with the robot, and it's like it wants to charge. It's like sitting, it's plugged in, it like wants to charge up. It's like my disc is full. It ejects the disc. He puts a new disc in, and then it looks at a kaleidoscope.
It's like, what is this?
What is?
What is
What
this?
is?
No, actually,
What
it goes weapon,
Yeah.
weapon.
It's like, can I use this in the game? It's like, no, and it brings it up to the little camera because we have like the robot vision camera from time to time, and it looks in and it's like useless, and it like
Yeah.
tosses it away. It also notices some ball bearings, and it goes, "What is? What is?" It notices some metal ball bearings, and it's like, "Oh, those look like my foam balls. I can use those." And then
By the way,
It's
it's
the-
an extremely dexterous robot, even though it only has like 3 fingers, so to speak. It's got like the 2, your index finger and middle finger and a thumb, basically.
yeah,
And it can like grab pretty much anything.
Mhm.
So as a robot, it's really dexterous, which as a mechanical engineer robotics major,
I wish I had 3.
that's actually really impressive that they got the prop to actually grip onto a ball
It
bearing.
was probably attached to like strings. It was just puppeteered.
It's still, as a concept, if they actually got something like that to work, that's actually really impressive.
For 95.
Yeah, for 1995, very impressive
95.
for a studio-built robot.
It's all puppets. It doesn't matter. It looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
The hand looks cool. The hand looks fun. It starts watching the TV.
Yes, and starts noting the violence of the TV. You know how like today's news is all just like violence, like you just read about
Yeah.
shooting and blah 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 and
Mhm.
etc. And it's like, wow, okay, I need to evolve up my killing game. And so it starts to like learn from the news, and then they like go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. And then it plugs itself back in, even though the boy told him not to charge anymore. It plugs itself back in.
Yep.
And then we cut to the next day.
Yes.
It's
They're at school.
is it they're at school, or do we see that dinner scene first?
No, we're at school.
We're at school, and we see the main male
Kyle.
lead.
We see Kyle.
We see Kyle
we
and
see
his friend,
scheming friend.
his skeevy friend.
Yeah, they're loading up this.
They're pushing
laundry
this
basket.
this giant laundry basket that you'd expect to see in like a prison movie, like one of those big like industrial
Well,
laundry basket things.
If you're into athletics or anything like that, it's like a big industrial laundry basket. Basically, it's where you throw all your towels, you throw your whatever, and then it basically goes into a giant laundromat.
Yeah.
And so they're just pushing it around. And you actually made the comment. You're like, why are they pushing around?
Why are they doing
Why
this?
are they
They're
in high school
students.
pushing around? Yeah, it's
They're
like
students
what is
at the
going on?
school. Why are they doing this?
And so we finally realized that
They wheel it to the girls' locker room
Yeah.
entrance.
So
And this is where the movie makes
yeah,
a
this is
drastic
where-
turn, where we see the sign that says "girls' locker room."
Yeah,
And we were both a little
alarmed to say the least.
taken aback by it,
Yeah.
and then I don't remember
So-
who said it first, but one of us was like, "There's no way they're fucking doing this.
Yeah, it's gonna.
There's
skip.
no way they're going to record
high
girls-
school naked girls, in
naked
their
high school
locker
girls
room.
in a locker room with the robot, and then the little head of the robot peeks up out of the towels,
And lo and,
and it's like-
behold, they shove
and-
this in.
and they shove it in, and then we go, "There's no way you're showing naked." What you're trying to project is naked high school girls being recorded by
Yeah.
a robot by these two sex perverts.
We just expected it to skip.
And it rolls in, straight cut to girls' asses, walking
boobs.
around,
just walking
and then
around.
and then boobs. And I started screaming at the movie. I was so upset.
Oh,
I was
that
screaming, "You can't do!" I yelled the fucking director, Mark,
Mark
Rosman. I was like,
Rosman.
"You can't do this, Mark. You're not allowed to do this. I don't care if it's 1995. That's not something you do."
No.
They record the robot records a bunch of footage of these naked girls.
And here we
They're
see
supposed to
them-
be children.
Yeah, but then in the midst of all these naked girls, they see the girl that came over the
The
last
main
night,
girl
and
sees
she's like
sees
got,
it.
she's got kind of everything on, like you don't
she's,
see anything.
She's still like wearing all her clothes, and she notices she hasn't started changing yet, and she notices the robot's head in the towels,
Yeah,
and she gets a little upset.
she's like, Kyle Baxter, you naughty boy,
"You little slut."
you naughty boy.
It's
I'm not, I don't, it's whatever. You naughty boy. Boys will be boys. And so basically she, like, shoves the thing back out.
No, she doesn't shove it. It moves on, and then another girl, like,
Oh, that's right. She's
sees the
Fucking
basket,
freshman.
and they, like, push it out.
Like a freshman would have a freaking robot to do that.
I don't
Like,
think
it's
they noticed the
normal.
robot. I think it was just like they thought someone was fucking around with the towel basket.
Maybe you're right.
So they just shove it back out. And then we cut to another locker room that's abandoned. And then the camera pans, and did they show that it was the boys' locker room? Like, I have no idea what they did.
Yeah,
So
So they pointed out, they said the
Boys'
robot
locker
appears
room.
it's got blue highlights on the locker, so you assume it's the boys' locker room. And then it pans over to the jock who bet against Kyle in the VR laser
and
thing.
he's showering naked.
Buck naked, just booty shot.
He's in the shower, total ass shot. So now you have an ass shot of who's supposed to be a boy,
Yep.
like a high school
So it's
boy.
like, oh, it's okay. It's
no, it's not that it's
gender
okay.
neutral.
It's even worse.
It's gender neutral.
It's even
we
worse.
shot naked girls and naked
And
high
we
school
see-
guys. We're okay.
And then
he grabs the
the robot-
skimpiest like hand towel
yeah,
to cover
the
himself.
robot like watches him and like slithers away, rolls away. The jock walks over to his locker, puts on his pants, hears something, finishes putting on his pants,
Goes commando.
starts
by the
putting
way.
on. Yeah, he's going
Very
commando, very
disturbing.
95. Starts putting on his shirt, and then the robot rolls up, and it's like, "Play with me." Not something you want to say
Super creepy.
to a naked boy in a locker room.
No, play with me.
So it designates him as an enemy.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
he's like tough guy. He's
he-
like, oh, you want to play? I'll play with
Yeah,
you.
he takes it. He recognizes that it's Kyle's because Kyle won the competition. So he's like, "Well, fuck this kid."
Yeah. Oh,
Takes the robot, throws it. At this point, the robot couldn't even go up a step or anything, and they show in the first fight that when it falls down, it has to be picked back up.
yeah.
So now it's down on the ground,
And
and it
Kyle's like,
pushes
"Ha."
itself.
You idiot robot. Let me put my shirt all the way on.
Robots are for fucking idiots.
Yeah.
It pushes itself back up. It's learned how to put it right itself.
Yeah.
Comes back over, and
And
he's
now
like,
the robot's like clearly pissed. He's like,
Yeah.
you don't push me
It-
down.
we also
I'm a
see it
robot."
had the foam balls, and it starts like cycling through the ammo, and we start to see the ball bearings.
Yeah.
the
We're
metal ball
like,
bearings.
oh god,
And we're like, here
what
we go.
is going on?
And and Jeff calls. He says, "That dude's getting shot in the fucking eye." And I said,
called it.
I said, I think he's gonna get shot in the chest. And then the guy sees the robot's back upright, walks over, like bends over to look at it, gets shot right in the fucking eye.
right in the freaking eye.
Right in the eye.
I love it. I can't
Blood's.
believe I called
He's
that.
covering his hand. Blood's pouring out between his fingers.
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
like,
crawling back. He
"Ugh."
gets shot in the knee, the back of the knee.
Yeah.
He's like crawling. He's backed up against a locker. The robot shoots at his head again, and he just gets out of the way. It dents the locker.
Yeah, so we
He
know that
crawls
the
out-
robot has
He
good
crawls
firepower.
out to a stairway, and I was like, "Yes, this kid's falling down these stairs."
and he falls down
It
the
shoots
stairs.
him one more time at the edge of the stairs, and he falls down the stairs, and he's fucking dead.
Yep, breaks
And
his
it
neck.
marks it, and the robot sees that he doesn't get up, and he's like, "Kill confirmed." Like rolls away.
Evolver wins. Yay!
Then we cut back to the kid at his house, and we're like, "Why is no one talking about this kid that was murdered at school?"
He wasn't at his house yet. He's down. He's in the like
They
courtyard.
pick him up
He's
on
in
the
the courtyard,
campus.
yeah.
They're waiting for the robot to come back from his sex pervert mission.
Yeah, they're
They
all
get him.
worried. Like, man, that was a bad thing to do. And the schemer guy is like, "No, man, we're gonna use this disc. We're gonna fap to it.
We're gonna yank our cranks.
We're gonna crank the yanks. We're crank yankers."
We're a bunch of crank yankers. We make prank phone calls and record underage girls naked. Classic
So
yanking
basically,
cranks.
they take the robot home, and they're like, "Hey, give us the disc, robot." But
It's not full. The data's not full, so
Yeah.
it's not going to eject the disk. So they're like, "Whatever, we'll get it when it's done." The mom is having dinner with the daughter and Kyle.
yes, and then the robot comes
The
over.
robot's
to the table.
watching a TV show where there's some dude holding a woman hostage with a knife, and he says,
Like,
"I'll cut your fucking throat,
bitch.
you fucking bitch." So then the robot watches that and then rolls over to the kitchen table and sees that the little girl has a knife, and he goes, "Weapon?
Yeah, weapon.
Like, super
and she's
excited.
Like, no, it's a knife, silly. You cut with it.
You idiot!" She like calls it a dumb robot, and then the robot goes, "I'll cut your fucking throat." It's like, get the fuck out of here! Are you
at that
fucking
moment,
serious?
yeah, at that moment, like the whole escalation was just like tenfold. It's like that robot just swore at this little girl.
And then the mom goes, "I don't want that thing using that language in my house."
Yeah.
Not this fucking robot just threatened my daughter's life. I don't
I
like
don't-
the language it's using, and Kyle was like, oh, I guess he's been watching too much cable TV.
Oh
Like,
darn! You know that 90s cable TV. And then the robot like gets the
calls
last
the
laugh.
8-year-old a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't like that language.
Yeah.
What an awful mom.
Yeah.
Mom
well,
of the
she's got
fucking
Nestro to close.
Mama 95.
Single mom at 95 with a big old house. She's got Nestro to close.
The girl comes over.
Yes. Right after that
They
happened.
go up to the room. She calls out the guys like, I
You're a
saw
perv.
your fucking robot doing your pervy shit for you, recording naked girls.
Give me the disc. Yeah, she's like,
Yeah,
give me the disc.
disc, and he's like, it's not done. There's a shot. His computer has like a screensaver of like a
Gyrating
semi-naked woman
bikini girl.
dancing.
Yeah,
He's like,
really weird.
He's like, you're such a perv, and it's like clear this girl wants to get taken to Bone Town.
She wants the sword. Which,
And
by the
he-
way, we did skip this very important plot point. The first night he had the robot, he
Found a
hacked
code in it.
He
He found a
hacked
code
in.
in it called sword.
and he's like, asked the
He's like,
robot
"What
what
sword?"
sword is, and he's like, and the robot kind of didn't really answer, and that's a very important plot point coming up shortly. So the girl
Mhm.
is like, you're a pervy dude, basically. But I still like
You're
you.
a
and I
pervy
wanna hang
dude,
out
but I
with you.
still want to put my tongue on your tongue and my tongue on all your sensitives.
I want to put my tongue on your beepus.
I'd wrap my tongue around that beepus of yours, please. Check, please.
I don't remember
They
what
like
happens
talk
on-
some more. I don't remember about what. I don't even remember the next scene after that.
No, I don't either. I think basically like they go to sleep and the
The
robot
kid,
charges up.
I think it just goes to the next day. Everyone's gone. The friend shows up at the house because he wants the disc.
No, they see the news.
They see the news that the kid died.
Yeah, that the kid died, and the Evolver robot like watches the news with him. Like,
Yeah,
yes,
and
my
isn't
kill
like,
is confirmed.
and isn't like, I murdered the boy. He's keeping quiet. He's a smart robot.
Yeah,
Then is it the friend shows up?
yeah. It's the next day, and
There's no one home. The friend shows up to
Get the
get the
disc.
disc. So he finds the robot and he says, "You're coming with me." Puts the robot in his sweet fucking convertible that he's got.
Yeah,
Drives it over. We see robot vision. It says like
the
like
route
logs,
recorded.
like it knows the route back home. The
He
friend
wheels it into
pulls,
his garage.
Yeah, the friend. Yeah, he's got it in his garage, or he's working on another car. The
Takes
friend yanks the disc out. It's kind of scratched, but he's gonna like try to recover it or whatever. He's on the phone with someone saying that he's got the disc or something like that.
He's distracted.
Yeah, he's distracted, and the
He thinks the
robot-
robot's off.
yeah, and the robot wakes up and grabs a fucking circular saw blade and is holding it. The friend comes back over. The robot turns around, slices the friend's leg.
Yeah.
Friend falls down. The robot starts spinning around really fast, and the friend like doesn't know what to do. Just gets out of the way as that robot whips that fucking saw blade, and it gets stuck in the wall. It was going so fast. Dives under the car that he's working on that's jacked up, is hiding under the car. He starts crawling across to the other side of the car. The robot just rolls around. Now the robot has a hatchet.
He's wielding
The robot
a
grabbed
hatchet.
a hatchet. Hatchet comes right down, right in front of the friend's face. It sparks on the ground. It's
Yeah.
really fun.
So you know the robot's got some
So,
power.
so the friend starts to crawl backwards, and the robot just rolls around to the other side, and then the friend crawls back forward again. And the robot's sick of this fucking game. Sees the jack, just like kicks the jack, and the car crushes the friend.
Yeah, but and then
Crushes
the robot's
him.
like, kill confirmed.
And then
Time
rolls
to go
away,
home.
rolls away, and then you see the friend's hand twitch.
And you're like, oh, he's not dead.
It, the robot starts heading home. I
And
think,
here it cuts to the scene of the VR.
yeah.
And
Now we're back at the VR arcade, which I guess the friend drove by. The robot notices the VR arcade and goes in. There's two stoners playing the VR game.
Yeah.
One is watching, one is playing it, and like toking his joint. And he's like, "Oh, it's so realistic, it's so cool." The friend notices the robot come in and is like, and the robot says, "I want to play." So the guy's like, "Okay," and the robot looks at them both, like marks them as enemies, like enemy 6, enemy 7, and the guy that notices like, oh, cool, I'm enemy 7. And the robot just touches him and electrocutes him. So
Yeah,
now
just
the
like-
robot can electrocute people.
Yeah, just on
Electrocutes
demand.
and kills the one guy. The other guy is still in the VR, totally clueless because he's high off his fucking gourd.
Yeah.
The
The
robot grabs the wire that's connected to the VR headset and shocks it, and it causes the face part of the VR machine to explode. And I thought that was it, that like
Yeah.
he's dead. But it just like opened it up, and the guy's so high, he's like, "Oh, it must be in the new level." And he sees the robot, and he's trying to shoot him. He's
But
like,
it's
"Oh, the
real
game
life.
must be over." And
And
then the
then-
robot's like, "Game's not over yet." And then grabs the safety bar around the area where you play the VR game, starts electrocuting it, and then the dumb stoner grabs it and electrocutes
He's like,
himself and
"Oh,
dies.
I'm dead. And he's like, kill confirmed.
And then the robot just fucks off. It was
He's
like
like-
there was no one in the fucking arcade.
Yeah. Nobody
Then we
saw
cut
that.
to the people.
The boy and the girl
Kyle
are very
and
concerned.
Kyle and girl
Yeah.
go over. There's an ambulance and cops. Said he's got
At the
crushed by a
friend's
car.
scene.
Is he going to be all right? We're not sure. He comes out. He's got a neck brace on. He's got a breathing tube on. So he's still alive, and his future is uncertain. But
Yeah.
it's the last time we see the friend. The friend's
Like-
out of the movie.
We gotta find Evolver. We gotta find him. You'd think you'd like be wondering where your lifelike robot is at all times.
I wouldn't call it lifelike, but you want to know where your robot is. So then they go home. Now I don't really remember a bunch of stuff.
So
It seems like I'm always really strong with act.
Yeah,
from
so-
beginning
no.
to act, like
So-
the half of Act
yeah,
2.
they go home, and he walks in. The guy he drops off the girl. He gets home, and he drops and he goes in the front door. Sees the little girl reading a book. And he's like, "Hey, have you seen Evolver?" And she's like, "He's right there." And then like Evolver like pokes the dude in the butt, like, "Wanna play?"
No, I'm busy.
Yeah, and he's like, "Where have you been?" or whatever.
They don't
And-
realize the robot's responsible for the car falling on the friend.
No. And so, let's see. What I think maybe they do play at this point. I think they end up
I think
playing.
the friend
He's like-
finds the disc, and then the next day he
Oh,
goes
yeah.
to the game developer place and brings the disc to the scientist and is like, I saw something about a thing called Sword.
Yeah.
And the developer's like, oh, that's just another game I'm working on. It's like, examine this fucking disc because I think the robot killed the bully and I think he tried to kill my friend.
Yeah. And he's like,
So he said, I'll check it
"Nah."
out. I'll check it out. I'll see. He sees that most of the disc is corrupted, but he's going to look at it anyway. Something happens in between that and then the guy seeing the footage from the disc. Because the scientist sees...
I think at some point they play again.
I
and
think
and the
I
Evolver
think
goes
it's
to
the
level
boy and the
3.
girl sneak into that room in the game development lab,
Mhm.
and they look up what Sword is, and they find it was like a project by the
By the developer that we've already seen, and it's
by what it was like a government agency, like a military group.
was Department of Defense.
Department of Defense was developing mechs, and they have this cool 3D of like this mech. It looks like it's straight out of a '95 like mech computer game.
Yeah.
And it's like they're like, oh, it's got like a machine gun, it's got a laser weapon, and it's got a napalm gun. And we're like, well,
And
we've
it's-
seen the Gatling gun. I think we're gonna start seeing some lasers. I think we're gonna start seeing some napalm guns. Like
Yep.
they're teasing it.
Yep.
Like I
yep,
really
it's
fucking
gotta
hope
be in
they
there
do.
somewhere.
It's gonna evolve. We go back to the scientist. He's watching the footage, and he watches the robot from the robot's vision murder the bully. So he knows, and he's like, "Oh, not again!"
Yeah.
And the Kyle and the girl see footage of what happened with the robot that they were testing for
With
the
army
Department
people.
of Defense, where it killed people that were testing it, and then the scientists shut it down with some like fail-safe like shutdown code,
Yeah.
like emergency shutdown thing.
Somehow it gets to level
and that
3.
yeah. Oh, I remember how it gets to level 3, but they notice also that the project was terminated. So clearly, it's like the scientist like pet project that he's too obsessed with,
Yeah.
and he wants it to be a thing, and he's just kind of nuts about it. The CEO is totally oblivious. He just wanted a toy. We know
Yeah.
that also. There's a scene with that's just the CEO doesn't know what's really going on. Just wanted to sell a cool little video game. The robot's back home. They call home, and the girl picks up, and she's like, "I'm playing with the robot," And he's like, "Don't play with the robot." And the girl's like, "I'm 8 years old. Bye."
Yeah.
Hangs up and then continues to play.
The robot goes over.
The
Yeah, that's
robot
right, that's
picked
right.
up all the knives from the kitchen, loaded it into its gun,
That's right.
and is now shooting knives at the girl,
This 8-year-old little
who
girl.
finally realizes there are knives being shot at her. She panics. She runs out to the pool. She jumps into the pool. The robot's still shooting knives at her, then starts to charge his little electrocution hand.
Yeah, there's like a little blow-up alligator like floaty in the pool.
Yeah, she climbs on the floaty. He starts zapping the water, and she's on the floaty to not get electrocuted. And it's also shooting knives at the floaty to deflate it.
What had one knife left?
No, it had more, because it shoots it at Kyle, because Kyle and the girls show up to try to stop it.
That's right.
It turns around. They have the laser guns now to try to play it, because it thinks it's still playing the game. So he distracts it. He bullseyes it.
Eliminates the robot, basically.
So it kills. So the robot's out of that round, and it recognizes that Kyle is the champion. So the last level is basically a 1v1.
Yes,
It's
against the
the
champion.
robot's like 1v1 me.
Yeah, he's like 1v1 me, bro.
Rust.
Yeah, 1v1 me and Russ, bro.
1v1 me.
Give me your AK. Give me an LR 90.
1v1 me.
1v1 me, bro.
So, and then it's like, it basically like starts the fourth level. Like it doesn't need to ask for permission. It just starts it, and Kyle just runs over and kicks the fucking thing in the pool, and
Roundhouse.
it smokes. It
Roadhouse
smokes and
style.
it sinks to the bottom.
Roadhouse.
We cut to upset mom. The company's there fishing the thing out, and it's like dead because
They're like,
it's
I'm so
filled with
sorry,
water.
dude. I'm so sorry.
so sorry that this thing tried to murder your 8-year-old daughter.
But also killed someone and then maimed your best friend. Sorry, dude.
Stick it in a van. They're driving back. So Kyle and girl are
Decided to
relieved. They're
follow
like,
it.
I know. I think they're just like relieved. I think they thought it was dead
Yeah.
because it was.
Yeah. They're like, let's go for a ride.
We're treated to a nice scene in the back of the van where the scientist is trying to turn the robot on again.
No, he's not. He's inspecting it, and to be honest, he actually sticks a voltmeter on there. Which,
I
if
didn't
you guys
notice
know,
that.
yeah, because he's got a probe.
For
He's got
those
two
of you that
probes
don't know, a voltmeter measures voltage.
across 2 points, so you have to have a positive and a negative lead, and goes through the thing. Doesn't actually induce a spark, which is to be noted. It doesn't like put stuff through 2 different points. It's just a measurement device.
Across 2 points.
Yeah. And so apparently, though, the voltmeter sparks this robot back to life after it being doused in water.
It fucking bitch slaps the scientist.
Yeah.
It takes its hand and fucking backhands the
And-
scientist,
well-
knocks him down.
That was my favorite quote of the whole movie, though. The scientist is like, what went wrong?
And it went,
then the robot
nothing
goes,
went wrong.
Nothing went wrong.
Smack!
I
Knocks the
love it.
scientist back. It rolls over to the driver of the van, grabs the driver by the face from around the back, causes the van to crash. We get a cut of the scientist like kicks open a window, and he's like trying to crawl out, and he's all fucked up, but he's still alive. Get a nice shot of the 2 guys in the front. They're totally dead, like their brains are falling out.
Yeah.
And then the back doors fall off, and the robot rolls out,
He's like, I am the Terminator.
and it marks the scientist as enemy number 8.
There it is.
And
the scientist
and
panics.
he goes, and he tries to issue the shutdown thing, and the robot goes, code not recognized. And then that's when I go, please light this van on fire. And right when I said it, it cuts to gas leaking out on the floor, and I was like, yes. And then it sticks its little hand down and starts sucking up gas, and I go, we got a napalm gun.
There it
we
is,
got
yes.
it. We got the napalm gun, boys. We're in business. It fucking... It lights the gas on fire, and it's slowly going over towards that scientist. He starts to light on fire a little bit. Robot's rolling away. Van fucking explodes.
Dude, cool robots.
Yes.
Cool robots don't look at explosions.
Cool fucking death.
Cool robots don't look at explosions. They blow them up and they walk away.
That's a beer break for me.
Yeah. Quick beer break. I'll go ahead and keep explaining what goes on. So,
They're at the park.
yeah, so cuts to the night now, and guy and girl conveniently run out of gas on his moped at the park. And basically they make out, and they realize that, hey, there's a little connection. We're both horny teenagers. So,
She finally
yeah, she finally admits it. So they're like, oh, I'd like some more of that lip action. And then basically they make out. And then somehow they make it back. They're driving, and then they get to the cops and the van, and the kid is like, I think a robot did this. They're on their way back. And the cop's like, bullshit. Get out of here. Go back home. Thank you, sir. And they end up going back home, and we see a little cutscene of the robot being like, level 4 activated, and then he like transforms into like a bitchin' robot.
Yeah, he does like a straight up Power Rangers like transformation.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking
So we
cool.
see like a laser mounted gun. We still see his like knife cannon sort of thing, but he's got like 2 lasers. His whole like face, which kind of looked like Wall-E before, has now transformed into like a body face, and it's just like angry all the freaking time. It's just
Yeah, he's
angry.
got like a grimace.
And he's got like these little fans came out, like he's got a supercharger now as for a motor, which is, you know, it's like wow,
Pretty
okay,
bitchin'.
you have evolved to level 4 here clearly.
Which
You
is
are
all
ready for
clearly
this.
material that was in the robot to begin with.
I know.
So it's not really evolving.
It's not. It's pre-programmed.
Not very much of an evolution.
No.
Whatever.
So,
So we're back at the house.
well, no.
No?
So, Mom and Girl are back at the house. Girl is getting ready. The robot cut power off the entire power grid. And so there's no power to anybody's house.
Mm-hmm.
And so the girl and the mom are in the house with candles on, like normal.
Classic
Like,
blackout
when it- yeah.
situation.
And so they're like, the girl's upstairs brushing her teeth. Mom's downstairs, like, trying to find the flashlight or something.
Mhm.
Girl, like, screams, and then Mom runs up, and it's like, oh, it was nothing. And then girl screams again, the mom goes up, and basically the robot set a freaking trap in their house.
Yeah, they had the trap all set up.
And, take back here, throwback to the beginning of the movie, the robot uses the kaleidoscope.
Which
That-
I thought was great.
Yeah, that was a good throwback.
It was like, oh, they had this little thing where it was like learning about something, and it's almost like set up payoff.
Mhm.
It's like someone wrote a movie.
And
That's-
actually thought about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Which was a surprise for this show.
Yeah, absolutely. And so basically what the robot did this impossible basically thing. It plugged in all
It
this
set up like it super powered one of the toy laser guns to the point where the laser
was
is-
actually a physical laser
would
burning
burn you.
things.
It shoots it through the kaleidoscope, and the kaleidoscope scatters the laser, so they're in like a flame laser cage, which is fucking dope.
Yeah,
It is so fucking cool.
And so then boy and girl come back home, and they hear the mom and daughter scream. They're like, ah! And then they go up.
Robot is on the stair, rolls down the stairs, and says,
Level.
"You have to fucking play me,
Yeah, by the way,
because if you don't, I'm gonna murder the hostages
in 3 minutes.
in 3 minutes." It turns out it was actually like 6 minutes from the time they start.
But that's
the
not too
countdown.
bad. It could have
It's
been
not
worse.
bad. It's not bad at all. 3 minutes to 6 minutes is, passable. You could have said 6 minutes, but whatever. That's not as fun.
Yeah.
It says you gotta fucking play me. So they're like, all right. So they have their laser guns. They start to play.
The robot's
The robot
clearly-
has a laser gun now.
and shoots him in the leg.
Shoots him
Like,
immediately.
first thing.
thing, he's like, all right, we're playing. Pops this motherfucker in the leg. He drops.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this is gonna
Game
be
on,
quick.
okay.
Game on and game fucking over already. He crawls over with the girl, like helps him to the kitchen, which
Where they
has
barricade the door.
a door that has glass panes in it, like
On the
you can
second
see
half.
through the kitchen door in the top half, which is something you never see anymore.
Well, it's very 90s.
very 95.
Yes.
This is the big thing back then. Wooden door into the kitchen with the glass panes.
Yeah.
It looked like a front door, basically.
It did, but it's
So
an
they block
interior door.
the door. The robot's trying to get in, and then she like goes around and distracts it, and
Well,
then
she's like, it's undefeatable. Like, we can't do it. And then, yeah, it's
undefeatable.
weird. So you would think that the robot would just go around to the next door, but it doesn't. And so they're like, it can't be beaten. Then we get another scene where they're kind of like fighting this robot again,
Mm-hmm.
and the robot sees the boy, and the robot's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you," and like points the laser at his head. Or maybe it's the ball bearing. I think the ball bearing cannon at the dude's
Are you talking
head.
about the mirror?
Yeah.
This was earlier. This wasn't the final fight. That was the level 2 fight.
Oh, you're right. Well, that was a good throwback to the mirror,
Yeah.
to the mirror level in the.
We
VR.
missed that fun point in the movie, but
Sorry,
it doesn't matter.
guys.
It
Sorry,
doesn't
guys.
matter. Kyle gets shot by the laser in the fucking chest.
Oh man.
And he drops, because he just got shot with a fucking laser in the chest. And he's down. And he's fucking dead.
And
for
the
sure.
robot's looking at him like, "Kill confirmed. Evolver wins. Evolver wins." Like braggadociously, like, "I killed you, bitch. I fucking won."
And
You
then he
suck."
hears Kyle make a little, breath.
Yeah.
And he stops. And he increases the gain
On his audio.
on his audio capturing ears. Notices that Kyle's breathing. He's like, "Oh, I gotta fucking shoot him."
Kill not confirmed.
Girl distracts the robot for a sec. Robot turns around, tries to laser her in the face, misses. By that time, Kyle's gotten up, thrown the pot that he had put on under his shirt while he
It
was
was
in
like
the
a
kitchen.
silver plate.
Yeah, throws that off, runs
It's
away,
like, "Gotcha, bitch. Tricked you, stupid robot."
hides behind cover. The robot's still, I think, distracted briefly. He yells at it. It turns around and he snipes it and bullseyes it and insta kills it. And the robot is not a fan.
No,
He's like, "Bullseye, I lost, I don't lose," and he's like spinning around. He's all angry. He's like,
Yeah.
I do not lose." Kyle grabs a baseball bat and just starts beating the
It's
fuck
like-
out of the robot.
It's like signs, man. Swing away, swing away.
I'd like to think of it more as symbolism of the primitive way to defeat the advanced machine. Just
Yeah.
beat the shit out of it with a baseball. Beat the shit out of it with a stick.
Yeah, just try, man. You just gotta
It's
try.
he's knocking pieces of it off.
They think they got this thing killed.
And,
Basically, they're like, "All right, let's
it,
go recover."
Dies. It powers down. It's like, let's go save our mom and sister.
Yeah, which they do.
Which they do. They take the laser gun out and they put out the fires because the laser has now lit the whole wall behind the prisoner.
But only on the 6 spots.
on the spots
that the
where it
lasers
was. Lit those on fire. They put it out with clothes, which is
Yeah.
how you do it.
And then
And they're all holding each other, and they say, "All right, let's get out of here." And then the three of them leave without Kyle. For some reason, Kyle's just like, "I'm gonna just lay down here."
Yeah,
right now.
Man, it was so hard to defeat that robot.
The three of them walk out, and then the door closes, and the robot's behind the door.
Yeah, which makes no sense
because they were downstairs.
It's a single hallway.
It's a single hallway with one entrance into the bedroom. Naturally, that the mom and the sister were in that room the whole time. They would have seen the robot come in and then hide behind
And
the door.
the girl were in there. 4 people were in that room, and nobody saw the robot come
No
in.
one fucking saw the robot. But it closes the door behind them,
locks it.
and then starts
He's like-
charges
like,
Kyle,
"I will kill
grabs
you."
him by the throat, and you're like, you go, okay, he can electrocute Kyle right now and end it all. But instead
Or
he
he can just
opts,
keep
for
choking
choking, and then lets go and backs up for some reason. Did Kyle do something? I didn't notice him do
he
anything. He
just,
just sort of backs up. Kyle starts to climb onto the bed. The robot rolls back over,
He's
grabs his ankle, breaks his fucking ankle.
Yeah.
Starts to pull him back. Starts to charge the electric thing again, or starts to charge
Yeah.
the electric thing.
And he jumps over him with a broken
Yeah,
ankle.
Kyle jumps over him, grabs the laser gun that had been supercharged that they turned off. That was the laser trap. Shoots the robot. Shoots Evolver in the chest. Evolver fucking explodes.
Yeah, just kaboom.
Yeah, totally blows up. It was awesome. And then we fade out, and now we're outside where he's
The
getting
cops
put
in
into the
ambulance,
ambulance. The girl gets in the ambulance. The sister gets in the ambulance. Mom's nowhere to be seen.
Yep.
The CEO of the company rolls up for some reason, where he's like, "I had 3 employees die today. What's going on?" And gets immediately bombarded by journalists who are outside, who immediately recognize him.
Yeah,
And they
they're
go,
like-
one of them literally goes, "Hey, you work for this company, right? Do you take responsibility for all the tragedy?"
And where are the people in the house? They're idiots. Freaking, you just saw them get carted.
You just watched them. And then the camera slowly pans up in a crane shot, pans up fades into the bedroom where the robot has totally exploded and there's no way it's still alive, and a piece of it lights up, and
Like the giant LED front that
yeah,
it was.
the piece that's just light bulbs lights up, and then it cuts to the monster vision, the robot vision again, and it says kill
Not confirmed.
not confirmed, and that's how they end this stupid movie
Oh my god. Like they were going to have a sequel.
where the LED light tries to murder.
They recover the LED
Murder a
light. The
boy.
LED light somehow magically gets new parts attached to it.
So that's our fucking plot, and then credits roll, and that's our
Boom,
plot
boom.
synopsis.
There it is. The movie Evolver. 1995. Mark Rosman. Plot synopsis.
Okay. Next section of our show is called Trivia.
Okay.
It's called Trivia.
It's trivia.
So, first off, I'd like to open up by saying the first place I always check for trivia is IMDb, and the trivia that read on IMDb said...
Lay us on this stuff. Let's play the over-under budget game.
Hang on. The trivia says, be the first to add trivia for this title. So there is no
Great.
trivia. We do have a goof, which is when Evolva crushes the guy. So even the person who wrote this goof didn't know the name of the friend. Because he
Oh,
says,
no.
when Evolver crushes the guy under the car
Oh no.
by lowering the jack, Evolver does so by pushing down the jack handle. This is not correct.
Which is true. It's
The
not
handle
correct.
twists to release pressure.
Yeah.
So there's a little nice job of all. You guys fucking suck at making movies.
Wow.
Whoever wrote Evolver.
You know what?
fucking
Honestly, I
piece
should
of
have known
shit.
that. I should have known that. I thought he just like cut the jack, like just cut
Yeah,
it.
I thought he just sort of broke it.
Yeah.
Like bent it. You know?
But that's not
Who
what
gives a
happens.
shit?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could lower a jack that way.
If you break the hydraulic fluid in it, yeah.
Yeah.
If you break the pressure, that's what I thought happened, but apparently not.
So here are some two actual like pieces of that weren't written down, but I think they're worth note. The voice of Evolver is William H. Macy.
Who comes from?
He's famous. He's got a show on Showtime called Shameless. He was also in the hit film / Oscar snub Wild Hogs, about 4 old middle-aged dudes that go on like a biking tour of the country.
Yes, I remember
That also
movie.
stars Tim Allen, John Travolta, and Martin Lawrence, and Ray Liotta.
Yep.
And he's also the dad in Jurassic Park 3.
Which is a classic.
Those are the 3 things that I really know him from, which shows you just how much I know about William H. Macy.
Which is too much to know about him.
There's nothing wrong with... I love William H. Macy. I think he's a fine actor, and I'm glad that he took on the role of the voice of Evolver in this.
Kill not confirmed.
He's credited in this movie as W.H. Macy, but we all know it's you, Will, or Billy.
Billy
H.
Macy.
Billy H.
I'm ready for it. Give me the.
And then the other piece of trivia, which is also something I said in the commentary, in the opening credits, I noticed the composer is a man named Christopher Ting.
Yes.
And I saw that. I didn't say anything immediately, but in my head I'm like, that name sounds really familiar. It sounds... Because I'm a huge Futurama fan. I have all the seasons on DVD because I'm old. And like Cause,
You still
like,
enjoy DVD?
Before like Netflix even had streaming stuff, where like I like went out and I bought like the DVDs of Futurama seasons, and I would watch the commentary. I would listen to the commentary tracks
Of the episodes?
over the episodes, and I've watched those episodes more with the commentary tracks than just actually watching the show. And they constantly mention Christopher Ting, who was their composer.
Yeah.
And they talk about all the fun things he does, where he has like a theremin and all the, and they have like a full orchestra that he was a composer for. And I was like, is that the same Christopher Ting? And it turns out it is. So it's Christopher Ting, the guy who composed for Futurama. He was also the composer for the OC, and he's also the composer for Suits. So
He's got some good shows.
he has
under
some
his
hefty
belt.
titles that he's composer for.
And he did this B-roll
Yeah.
Evolver 1995 movie.
Yeah, and he's a wonderful musician. I believe he plays the drums, and I know he plays the theremin. In the Futurama, whenever they have a theremin, apparently it's him playing it.
Okay.
So if you don't know what a theremin is, It's actually a really fun instrument that you can look up. Here's some more trivia. The theremin is basically like a box with these two like rods, these two metal rods, and you run a current through them, which also creates a perpendicular magnetic field. And you put your hands in basically between these two rods, and one hand wherever you put your hand, because you have electrical impulses and you affect magnetic fields yourself. One hand controls the volume of the theremin, and one controls like the pitch.
I did not know that.
So it's difficult to learn. It's not very intuitive, but once you learn, you get to make all those noises. And the theremin is the thing in like every sci-fi movie where it's like, ooh. I can't do it really good. It's like the alien sound. Let me see if I can just pull up like just a sound clip of a theremin being played.
I did not know that was an instrument, actually, to be honest.
That is an instrument. It is an actual instrument.
Yeah, so...
The theremin, so there's your box there.
Alright. Oh, he's putting in his earpiece.
So one hand controls one and one.
Alright, so he's... I'm very confused here.
That's the theremin, is that noise.
Oh, I see how his hand does it. You want to throw it into this mic here real quick? It sounds like the robot, like UFO, like
yes,
laser.
It's like
lasers.
the classic like UFO noise. Let's see if I could just get a UFO sound with the theremin.
I'm actually really surprised that you knew what a theremin was.
Oh yeah, because I'm a fucking nerd.
I mean, I don't even.
Here,
know
so
this.
here's someone messing with a theremin. It's an extremely interesting instrument, and there's some noise there too.
It's pretty hard to hear, but it's kind of cool. Google what a theremin is.
And see, just even finger movements. It's a really fascinating instrument. But yeah, Christopher Ting, composer for Futurama, composer for this fucking movie.
Yeah, this god-awful movie.
So there's an actual thing. I checked the budget when I was on my break.
Okay.
So
go
unfortunately, I know, but it's your turn to play, and we can have the Peanut Gallery play too. I could not find a box office, so I assume it doesn't have a box office.
Probably
number?
not. It probably was released straight to DVD.
95 VHS.
Yeah, straight to VHS.
Do you want to play the budget game?
Budget, yes.
We don't have a box office because I don't think it went to theaters, but we can play the budget game. Unfortunately, I already saw it, so I know it. We'll start with the ladies. $8.
It looked like $8.
$8 million for one guess there from Paula.
Peanut number 1.
I don't know. I just like.
All right, I'm ready for Peanut 2's guess.
Oh no. Okay. 15 million.
15 million is a really bold guess.
Is it? I don't know the regular.
Hefe.
What is like Aquaman get?
All right, so
The budget for Aquaman was like 150,
B-roll movie. They
175
had some
million.
good puppeteers. They had some good actors here. Or,
They did?
Well, they had
William H.
people that would
Macy
become-
doing just a voice.
Well,
so
they
they had
had-
him for a day.
Well, they had a good composer and a good voice. So,
I don't think Christopher Ting was really well known in 95.
and I would say that there must have been a decent budget because like
It wasn't
weren't-
poorly made. It
No,
was clearly like some sort of like Hollywood probably just aiming for a VHS release.
yeah, it was a decently done movie.
So I would think from
Um,
that perspective, like, we're not trying to get this in a theater, but we're trying to sell VHS tapes, so wouldn't expect the budget to be terribly high. I'm not trying to give you
No,
hints or anything.
I'm gonna go for 6 million.
6 million. Okay.
I think that's a good enough budget.
6, we
to
have
get
8, we have
people.
15. Do we play Price is Right rules on this, or do we just do closest to?
The price is right.
Price is Right, you can't go over?
Sure. For tonight.
All right. I'm going to pull this up because I guarantee you if I don't pull it up, you won't believe me.
Price is right is anything below your value.
The
you win,
budget
right?
for Evolver
Well, let's get the Price is Right rules because some people might not know. So it's below.
You have to
your
be
budget.
below. Your guess has to be below what it is. If your guess is over, then you're out of it. You get knocked out. You know, it doesn't count.
Well,
it's like
if
voided.
your guess is below.
So say like something is
actual thing.
say something is worth $10 and you guess that it's worth $10.01. That's over and you're out. So anything above $10 you're out, and you have to be closest. If you're exact, then you absolutely
obviously win.
Wait, what was your guess?
6
$6 million,
million.
he said. The budget for Evolver, according to Wikipedia, unknown.
Oh, seriously?
We'll find it.
It says unknown.
We can find any.
Right at the bottom there.
Wow.
Unknown.
So we're all right. We all win.
We're all right
Everybody
in our own
wins.
way.
Congrats, guys.
If I were to guess a budget on this, I would guess $2 million. That would be my guess if Grace over there actually finds it. My guess is $2 million. But basically, that's it for trivia because there wasn't any.
Budget. I found it in 5 seconds.
She found it in 5 seconds. What was it? What was the budget?
Unknown.
5 million.
$5 million. So I win.
What'd you say?
$2 million. I said
You didn't
2.
even say an
I said
answer.
2, and I wrote it down. See,
Why
I
do
wrote
you
it down
win?
because I'm closest without going over. That's Price is Right rules. I just explained the rules
But
for
she
Price
said
is Right.
4 million.
No, she said 8.
Oh.
I win.
Fuck you.
Breaking news: Alex wins in another game.
I'm closest.
but you went over. But you went over. We agreed on Price is Right rules.
We did.
No, you know who hosts the Price is Right?
Drew Carey.
No, you're wrong again.
What are you talking about?
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg does not host The
Guy
Price
from
is Right.
Temptation Island.
No, he doesn't. It's
My
Drew
friend,
Carey.
Look it. You think you know everything.
It's Drew Carey.
Drew Carey
I'm
hosts.
sorry. Is it though?
Well, maybe he was subbing that day because that caption says we wanted Drew Carey.
But it's not. Literally, he's right here.
I'm sure Drew Carey takes days off.
You just can't admit.
I've never been more upset with you in my entire
I know,
life.
you can't. You know what? Bring up the fact. The fact that is right here. That's
It's-
not right. Okay.
We're
Hey
not-
Siri. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Who is host Price Right?
You can't even find the budget for this one. It's literally.
Who is the host of The Price is Right? Drew Carey. Drew Carey. Siri says Drew Carey. Look.
Yeah, he was the first host.
No, Bob Barker was the first host.
No, or like the most common one. Let's see.
That's not how The Price is Right works. You don't have alternating hosts.
I mean, he's literally hosting. I don't know how you.
I'm gonna have to cut all this. I'm gonna have to cut all this because it's gonna be me yelling and then you can't hear the response. It's gonna be me being crazy yelling Drew Carey over and over.
How are you saying no? And I literally.
It's Drew Carey!
He's literally hosting.
No,
it
he's...
now. Yes,
Yeah, because he was probably subbing that day.
So he still hosted it.
Once.
It's okay. He still hosted it.
But the host...
The host was Mark.
The
and
host...
Wahlberg.
The host is Drew Carey.
It was right, not really. Drew Carey's very large. Really?
He's not that large anymore. He's lost a lot of weight.
Because he's so old. Don't judge his weight. Oh,
He's not that old. He's probably in his 60s. No, 50s.
I still want to note whose line it is it anyways?
Years old.
Amazing show.
60?
I do like Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes, that's why the Drew Carey show, took place in Cleveland, Ohio.
That's why I failed so many.
It ran for like 10 seasons.
Also, for the Big Bang Theory, and you hate
This is the hill I'm gonna die on, Grace. It's gonna be the Drew Carey hill.
Have you ever even watched it?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, because it's got Ryan Stiles in it.
Amazing.
And the guy that used to be the host of the Late Late Show. What was his name?
Mark.
Craig
Wahlberg.
Ferguson. Craig Ferguson was in it, where he was Drew Carey's boss. And he was gay in the show. This is making for riveting Twitch
Yes.
and really good shit that I have to listen to when I edit these episodes, where it's just going to be me yelling. Like,
Can't wait.
and I'll just like skip forward, cut all this, and then I'll check a point, and it's just going to be me still
Oh
yelling.
My God, he is the current host
Drew Carey.
I just read it right here.
Drew Carey.
You're so wrong.
You're wrong.
Did Drew Carey get fired?
There's no way.
He's like, I want to Google it. It's right here. Look, it's right here on Wikipedia.
Price is Right. Current host Drew Carey on Google. It's right there. What is wrong with your internet? Your internet's fucking lying to you. I'm on the right internet.
Yes, that's the problem.
2007. Hosts, the history of hosts of The Price is Right. 1972 to 2007, Bob Barker. 2007 to present, Drew Carey. Drew
Current host.
Carey.
Traveling game show.
Yes.
Traveling game show is not The Price is Right. It's not the same show.
This is a long.
There's
Google
no evidence.
Are you sure? Because I have the evidence.
Because I'm on
Are they two
Wikipedia
different
too.
Shows though.
Yeah.
They're two different shows.
They're not two different shows. They're the same thing. It's like Dancing with the Stars and Dancing with the Stars Live.
But one is on TV and one is not.
Is one not aired?
I honestly don't even know what Price is Right is. So
Why are you fighting me on this?
because I have it pulled up.
There is nothing.
Argued with me for like 3 hours.
There is nothing. I can't.
Can you not even?
Apparently not. I mean, you can really prove terrible at finding things on the internet. You
This'll
can
be
find a
fine.
budget for a
This is
film
what you can
and I
do.
found it in literally
This
3
is.
seconds.
But it's not right. This is gonna be a highlight for sure that you cut.
Absolutely.
Or-
Alex yells off screen about The Price is Right. But Drew Carey. Drew Carey's the fucking host of The Price is Right. He's the fucking host of The Price is Right.
All right.
What's his name? What's that guy's name?
How
Mark
could you forget?
Mark L. Wahlberg.
I can't believe this.
L.
He's
Wahlberg.
also the spokesperson for 23andMe.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark L. Wahlberg, tell me my DNA results already, please.
I know, it's not taking 5 weeks.
Seriously, get your labs in order, okay? We have cleaner labs. Come on.
He is currently the host of The Price is Right Live, the traveling game show, not The Price is Right, the television show. I assume The Price is Right Live is just
You
the.
assume, so you don't even know.
I'm guarantee you it's just a traveling version of The Price is Right, where the normal version is televised, and the one that he hosts is not televised.
Like Dancing with the Stars.
So he's not the host of The Price is Right. He's the host of The Price is Right,
Okay, you can call
live.
It's like you're drinking a Bud
Different
Light
show. I'm drinking an IPA, that's why.
Yeah, you're angry. You need to calm down.
You're not drinking an IPA.
Can we agree that we're both right? See? I even tried to build a bridge, and what'd she do? She took out her book of matches, and she started striking them, and she's throwing them down on that tarmac. She's trying to burn that fucking bridge. That's all she's trying to do.
As a mediator here,
Drew Carey is the host of The Price is Right.
quite literally in the middle, you both are right.
There's that song.
Mark L. Wahlberg is the host of The Price is Right Live.
there's-
And Drew Carey is the host of The Price is Right.
The,
To be honest, don't even know what Price is Right is. I don't know what Evolver
did you
is.
never stay home sick from school?
ABCs don't know what the price is right.
The Price is Right is the perfect show to watch when you're homesick from school.
ABC.
You get to watch all those.
ABCs.
You get to watch all the Liberty Medical diabetes medicine commercials with Wilford Brimley.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Dude, I do not know any actors' names.
Wilford Brimley. He was in Cocoon.
What the fuck is Cocoon?
What is Cocoon? What is Cocoon?
No one knows what that
Cocoon is a movie about like these 4 old dudes.
Is it a bad movie?
No, it's really
Well, then
good.
we haven't watched it.
is. Here, let me show you. It's bad.
Cocoon is a movie about like these 4 old dudes that like don't want to be old. They find these alien eggs that like aliens
Okay.
laid on Earth, and they realize if they go near them, they get like younger and stronger. And they like keep it a secret amongst themselves, and they start getting better at things. Like they like immediately pass their eye test at the DMV, and they're like throwing like perfect darts and stuff, and they're like playing games at like the old folks' home.
And everyone's like, how the fuck are you doing all this? And finally one of them, like, lets it slip, like, oh, well, we found these alien eggs. So
Wow.
and then, like, eventually all the old people start, like, trying to steal the alien eggs to also get younger. And I think the cocoons either hatch or die. I don't fucking remember. It's Wilford Brimley, isn't it?
Sure.
He's the guy that does the diabetes.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Liberty Medical will cover all your diabetes medication supplies.
You see that?
I'm
You see that Kit Kat lasagna?
I'm not afraid to die. What a line for an old man.
It's filled with diabetes.
Diabetes. That's Wilford Brimley.
Well, if you just led with that, I would have known exactly who you're talking about.
You know,
Vest,
I'm sorry that I
mustache.
assume that people know what Cocoon is.
Vest,
My
mustache?
fault.
Come on.
Next time I won't
Plaid.
assume people know what the movie Cocoon is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, everyone, for wasting everyone's time.
Great.
That was trivia.
There we go. Now let's go to the, what did you think about that portion?
Which portion?
The portion of what did you think about that? Where we just talk about it. Like last
Oh, yeah.
like in
Can I pee?
Yes, you can. And I hope that you will pee
Well, I will.
in the toilet. And then flush. And then wash your hands.
fucking tell me what to do? Where to pee?
I mean, it is your house.
It is my house. I own it.
It is his house. His rules. It's exactly what we're talking about. We're definitely talking about Cocoon. We're not talking about anything else but Cocoon. Mark Wahlberg is the host of Price is Right.
Dude, we're going to talk about this movie.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the... We already did that part.
ABC's. Time for commenting. Drinking Kona.
You saved the comment
It's a
right there.
So,
castaway.
I'd like to point out that I'm not a huge fan of IPAs. This might be... That might explain why I get... That might explain the yelling.
Okay. To be noted.
Okay, so... just like random things that popped up about the movie.
Correct.
Can we just talk about the elephant in the room?
What's that?
That scene in the movie where there was a giant elephant in that room. I thought it was a little weird.
What did I miss?
I'm talking about the filming of naked high school girls
And man.
and naked high school boy.
So, yeah, that was disturbing because it was just like high school girls' locker room full nudity. Obviously,
It wasn't full. There was
No.
ass and there were boobs.
Yeah.
This is what you guys did when we were gone?
Yeah, that's when you came in I said you missed a lot.
A lot of boob.
It was like one pair of boobs.
Still a lot of boob.
Still a lot considering the setting
well-
is a high school girls' locker
Well,
room.
to be fair, it was a little boob.
How much nipple have we seen in all these movies?
So we've seen way too much nudity.
It turns out bad movies often include. Now I get why this movie's rated R.
Yeah, seriously, because they have like
Turns
freaking
out they.
child porn in this movie.
He's like,
And this will be the last episode of the ABCs of bad movies. Oh my god!
I mean, it's
like
not real
so.
child porn. You assume that they had like adult actors in here.
Yeah, they were for sure. The actors were for sure adult. That's not my problem.
The problem is that
My
they
issue
depicted
is-
that they thought it was
My
high school.
issue is, yeah, it's supposed to be
make sure it's
high school girls.
Yeah. And they're just like, it's the locker room. It's 1995.
Yeah, it was because it was 1995, and they were like, everyone's doing it. It's Hollywood.
Yeah.
It was like, you could never fucking do that.
Oh, God, no. Well, think about the age groups that should be there. Like,
Yeah,
at
because
the
one of them-
minimum,
one of
12,
them-
13.
one of them literally was like, oh, these fucking freshmen. So that's 14 years old. 14 to 18.
Younger kid. I was a 13-year-old freshman.
Okay, 13, 18. That's not good.
No.
wrong, so
That's
I
like
know.
puberty, like, there. And this guy is just like, let me throw my sex robot in here.
Let me just send my...
And then it's just
Let
like,
me send in my murder robot to
Well-
also become a sex offender.
I also like how there's only the jock in the locker room. Like, just him, by himself. No one else.
See, I was about to say, they could have made it better by having a bunch of naked boys.
At
in
least
there.
even it
But
out.
that wouldn't make it better.
No, it
because then
wouldn't.
it's just more what are supposed to be children naked. The lesser, the better.
Yeah, how about none? How about they should have just cut that and
Coulda-
just cut to the guy
You
dressed
see the
in
camera.
the locker room.
You see the You see them push the thing in,
then
and
it
then
cuts.
they go. All right, let's get out of here. And they run away, and then it does some sort of like
Well, no, it
comedy
shoulda-
noise, or you just keep the camera outside. You keep it's just like a camera on a tripod, right? Where you see them standing, and it's like the long shot of the hallway.
And then they shove the robot
They
back
shove
out.
it in, they run away. The camera just holds there, and you just hear audio where it's like girls chattering, and then one of them goes, "Oh, who brought the fucking towels in?" And then you like push it back out after like 30 seconds.
And then
that's what you do.
Then it should cut to the jock already dressed like saying bye to like everyone else
no,
in the locker room.
No, it's the jock starting to button his shirt. He's already got his pants on. He's buttoning his shirt.
Yeah.
Now
Done.
we know what he's done. We don't have to see his ass.
Nope.
We don't have to see him walking a little skimpy towel out of the shower.
That literally doesn't go around his waist. He's just like
He has to
holding
hold
the
it.
ends together. How broke are you as a production to not afford an actual towel? Just
No, that's
bring
not,
one
no,
from
no,
home.
no. That's not what it was. It was they wanted to tease. They needed some eye candy for the ladies in the theater,
In the VHS theater.
in the living room.
They needed a reason for girls to watch this.
I was screaming at the television.
It was horrible. Mark Rosman, you are a
He could probably sue us for that if he's still alive.
Mark Rosman, you are a producing.
Mark Rosman, your films make it appear like you're interested in children.
Agreed.
That probably doesn't help either. We could probably still get sued for that.
Mark Rosman, it appears that the film Evolver.
No, I got it. All right,
let's do it.
Mark Rosman, in your film that you directed, you had a scene where there were naked actors who are adults who are supposed to be children, and they were naked in it.
That is unacceptable.
What the fuck's that about?
I'm gonna clip that, put it on Reddit.
No. I don't need that.
We don't need that kind of.
Check out this shitty podcast.
Yeah.
They talk about a locker scene.
Mark Rosman, you have lots of money now, probably, or you're broke. Hopefully, you're broke because you depict supposedly high school guys and girls naked in your films, and sell them to people.
It's weird.
It's weird to say the least.
Yeah, that's like the nicest thing you could say is it's weird. It's disgusting.
Well, at least they don't show the main girl who's definitely under 18
Mm-hmm.
naked. She's just half naked.
No, she was fully clothed.
She wasn't fully clothed. The top she had on just extended enough.
I wasn't looking down there, so if you were, I guess you can.
I'm just saying the top, from what I remember, the top just extended enough.
I hated it.
Yeah,
I hated that scene.
that needed to be left out and burned, and we should have just seen Evolver just kill the boy, and that's it.
Kill the boy, Evolver. Just kill the boy.
Just kill the innocent little kid who's a douchebag.
Yeah, he's just a dickhead.
He's just
He
a
doesn't
jock.
deserve to die.
He's just a classic 90s jock. He just deserves to, get a wedgie and turn out to be gay in the end.
It reminds me of Heathers. Have you ever seen Heathers?
I have not.
Heathers is this wonderful movie where it's a dark comedy. It's got Christian Slater and Winona Ryder in it.
Wow, that's pretty famous people.
Yeah, I mean it's a popular movie, and it's about this group of. You can imagine them basically as the Plastics from Mean Girls.
Mm-hmm.
They're all named Heather, and then
That's funny.
Winona Ryder is also named Heather, so they pull her into the group even though she doesn't really like them. She kind of despises them, but she just
She just
lets
goes
them be
along.
friends with her, and she's like, whatever, it's not worth the trouble, and I'll just be friends with all these rich girls.
Yeah, all named Heather.
And she's got this cool ability where she can mimic other people's handwriting, which is
Okay.
apparently actually a thing that some people have.
I don't doubt that. That seems legit.
It's super interesting. But so she has that. She becomes friends with this dude who's played by Christian Slater, who's like a punky. He's wearing a trench coat all the time.
Okay.
This movie was made in like the late
that,
80s.
That sounds like a movie.
This
Winona
movie was
Ryder
made
would be
in the late 80s, so it's like way pre-Columbine. So it's not like they're trying to imply that with him, but he's a fucking psychopath in the movie, and they basically start killing people in the school that they don't like,
Okay.
and then she'll forge like suicide notes in their handwriting because she can do that. And there's one great
Dark
scene.
movie.
It's like a comedy though. It's like a black comedy.
Okay.
But there's one set of these two dickhead jocks that they kill, and then she writes suicide notes where she claims that they had like a suicide pact because they were in love and their parents wouldn't accept them. Because throughout the movie they're calling everyone that they see like fag and like whatever, like they're just insulting everyone and being very homophobic.
Yeah.
So that they're like, this would be funny if we say that they're gay after we murder them. So there's a scene where they have they're doing their funeral together. They have both caskets up on the altar, and one of the dads goes up and he gives like a eulogy and he's crying. But he has this great line where as he's crying, he just looks up and he goes, "I love my dead gay son." It's so fucking funny. So sometimes I'll be hanging out with my friends and I'll just look up in the sky and go, "I love my dead gay son."
I love him.
But most people don't know what I'm talking about, but it's Heather's. It's on Netflix. Check it out. It's a good movie. Winona Ryder, Christian Slater. Better movie than this, even though this movie was still pretty good. But you were saying, like, have him come out as gay, and I immediately thought of that.
Yeah.
I immediately thought of a better movie. Any other things that you want to talk about? Because I talked about the one that I am really passionate about.
I do want to say that the physics of the robot.
You liked how the hand moved.
Well, so my background really is in mechanical engineering robotics. That was my focus, and so as far as like making nerd, I know, yeah, geek.
Drop the major.
So as far as like
We do that all.
understanding how robots today work, this robot from 1995 would actually be a pretty sophisticated robot today.
Okay.
Just due to the capabilities that it had. I mean, it had dexterity, it had aiming capabilities, it had really sophisticated like learning, so that the AI learning was pretty good. The fact that it could learn new words was interesting.
Learn, bitch.
The fact that it had like ammo recovery
Mm-hmm.
via like vacuum, so it could take multiple sources. So it sucked up gasoline in that scene,
Yeah.
which is pretty impressive from the
So
fact
not
that
only can it suck up little
pellets.
sphere-shaped things, it can also pick up a liquid.
Yes, and also so it had the little foam rockets, but then it can also take knives. So it's not like a hydraulic or a pneumatic like air pressure, like it shoots the little things. It's like a mechanical. It can shoot whatever it can load in that thing. So very impressive as far as that goes. And very unrealistic for 95. And I do want to say, though, it was also the most unrealistic thing was the fact that it came back to life after being dunked in water while still on.
Dunked in water.
It,
Also unrealistic that it survived being blowed up.
yeah, so my leg is cramping. What is going on?
Stretch it out.
That's what I'm trying to do.
We're out of bananas here.
My leg! My leg!
I guess I'll have to go grab the fresh beers.
It's like actually cramping. Kind of hurts. But I've done
Why'd you like raise your eyebrows at me when you said it kind of hurts?
Kind of hurts. Wink, wink. No, but so the fact that the robot lived just through the water is super unrealistic. It doesn't matter what, your circuit boards are fried. Like that's signed, sealed, delivered, dead electronics there. Second, you can't have the robot simultaneously, like from a 120 volt adapter, which is what its finger was, like start to burn and pull more amps. Like that's not how that works. You, as in electronics, you have like a current limit on the wires, so you can't just be burning like the fuse. Like your whole current upstream would also be burning and be hot, so your robot would be on fire by that point. You can't just burn the terminal. Like you can't just stick something in your outlet. Basically, that's the equivalent. You can't stick something in your outlet and not have the device burn while the internal circuit burns. That just doesn't happen. Your fuse in the house would blow. Like that would reset. So that's unrealistic. Then it was out the power plant. Your power plant has megawatts. Like
That's a million watts is a
like-
megawatt. Is 1 million watts.
it's a ridiculous amount of power. And your robot being able to just access a terminal
it's
in
a hot
there
mess of
and
watts,
just
I'll tell you
like
what.
touch it and be like, I'm going to short circuit this and have megawatts of like ridiculous amount of current pass through it. And
But didn't
the
it
robot be
shoot
okay.
some sort of like electricity ball or something?
No,
during the
it just
movie?
shoved its hand in the access
No,
panel.
later though. It was like it was storing it all. Maybe the robot was a
I
giant
don't remember
capacitor.
that. I don't remember that.
Could have just been a giant capacitor.
That's still not
There was
how
a
that
level in the
works.
VR game where they were literally fighting on a little PCB.
Yeah,
and
but-
you see you see all the elements in it. It was fun.
That was fun, but that has
It was
nothing
a
to do
subtle
with
hint
real
from the
life.
director saying that the robot's a giant capacitor, so it could suck up all that juice and then discharge it.
Dude,
later.
I don't care how many capacitors you have. You cannot just take megawatts of energy like that in a robot that size. That still has all the motors and all the functionality. There's not enough room. I'm sorry.
You heard it here first. Jeff is calling the robot in this movie unrealistic.
It's realistic in the sense that you can actually make a robot remote controlled do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did. I don't think it was just puppets. I think they actually had a remote control robot
It was probably part
with
of it.
those
yeah.
gestures, being able to do that and move on the screen. That's pretty dang realistic. The feats that it could do, where it was like storing excess energy, that doesn't happen. Like your battery would literally explode. That
Yeah.
doesn't happen. So that's my like realistic scientific comment, only because I have know about that a little bit.
Well, I'm sure our audience appreciates a nice little science lesson. There's
Yeah.
nothing like listening to a podcast about bad movies and getting treated to how robots should work
No.
and electricity. I thought it was really interesting because I don't know anything about any of that stuff. So
He's just
it was nice to listen to it.
Well, I'm glad. We
Yeah.
all learned a little
I
bit.
learned something a little bit about electricity, I guess, today. How about that? It was fun. I liked it.
You know what? And
Do you
I
want
did
another beer?
I would love another beer. I did not think it was I thought it was a bad movie, but I didn't think it was that bad. So I think we're going to get to this next section here very shortly, but I think I still have a few more comments, but I think well, let's see. What's my other comment is the forced romanticism that was in this movie drew me away from like the natural like what should happen as far as like teenagers coming close, at least in the classic sense, like what you would think from a movie. So the fact that the girl just came in and like wrecked his whole video game scene, I felt like that was really forced and unrealistic from the viewer's standpoint.
Which one do you want?
I'll just take this one, whatever this is.
Jeff is calling her a fake gamer girl. Look,
She
there
is
it is.
very
She's
much.
a fake
She had
gamer girl.
no. So I also do want to point out that we did not see any of her family in this video. She was just left free to
No.
just do whatever she wanted. We have no idea. We know that her family is divorced. That she moved down here from Ohio.
She
But
talks about that with the Kyle.
We never see any
Never see her
repercussions of her
parents.
actions.
She's just showing up to try to fuck Kyle.
Pretty much. And that's actually what I have the biggest problem with.
You know what? I actually don't have a problem with it because her family life was not fucking important. Like, seeing her mom was not important.
I agree. I don't care about
Why
her family.
waste the audience's
I
time?
don't care about her family. I really don't. But what I do have a problem with
You
though
heard it
is-
here
is the
first.
trope.
Jeff hates women. Doesn't care about their families. Thinks they're all fake gamer girls. You want to dig that hole a little bit more?
No,
You want another
because
shovel?
it's not true. Give me an excavator.
I'm
Let's
just-
see how deep I can go.
I'm just fucking with you. It's
So, my issue is the forced interaction between the two. She could have been in there, for example, instead of ruining the game. They could have introduced her as like a different distraction, like he took off his VR helmet while they were betting in between the levels, and like he saw her in the crowd and was like, "Hey, she's kind of cute," and then like kind of is distracted and then loses, and then they meet up after, and he's like, "You distracted me," and then finds out that they go to the same school, and then boom, there's a better connection, not like not she happened to just join the video game, and none of the 20 people that were in the room noticed. Like it was like a shock to all 20 people. Like, what? She's playing the game? I can imagine, like, maybe, you know, like half the people are sucked into what's going on. The other half, you know, the ones that don't have the best view,
Someone's gonna notice.
somebody's gonna notice this
Someone's
girl
gonna notice,
joining into the game and at least tell him.
Hey, this fucking gut's trying to play that video game.
Well, especially when they all put money onto it. Like, they all
Yeah.
are gambling. Like,
That is
nobody's
totally
gonna notice.
true. I didn't even think of that. Like, you think one of them would be invested in the amount of money that they spent, and it's like they just see someone else join in that game. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
I
they're
didn't
like,
bet
no.
on this.
No. Yeah. Yeah, you don't just add an extra horse to your horse race, do you? No.
Well, I
At the
don't.
last second. No, you don't.
I don't race horses, so I wouldn't know.
Well, I don't either, but that's just the best and quickest analogy I can... Everyone at least has seen the ending of horse races. They've seen Pharaoh and all that stuff. I don't know
Who?
the horses. Pharaoh, you know? Is it
Egyptian kings?
Egyptian sphinx?
A sphinx?
A sphinx?
That's better. The
One of those things?
lion-bodied little dude with the head.
Yeah.
Very cool, made of stone. Like those guys.
Hey,
Pretty
sphinx.
cool.
Egyptian
Pretty cool guys.
Egyptian sphinx. Use it on your next hangman competition.
Don't fucking use it on your next hangman. Give a shit. If the next time you play hangman,
What happens?
use the line Egyptian Sphinx.
Yeah, people steal all of our ideas and get famous. So steal that idea, get famous.
You know,
whatever.
that's really funny that you mentioned that, because a couple years ago, probably like 24 years ago, like 24 years ago, I had this idea of a robot that could evolve every time it
Except it's all
every time it's
pre-programmed
beaten in
robot.
every time it's beaten in a video game, and I was gonna call that movie Level Up Robot Man. And I was thinking of making it into a movie. I was gonna have William H. Macy.
You're gonna have Ethan Embry directing it, both Mark Rosman. You're gonna have the
I was
guy
thinking
from,
of Mark Rosman to direct it too.
You're
Back in
think-
1995, I was thinking of
You're
that.
thinking, wow, you know what? I heard this music one time, and it should be like I
It sounded
have
like
the soundtrack.
like it sounds like a music that I'm familiar with for some like cartoon that's like The Simpsons, or made by a guy about The Simpsons, about the future that hasn't been invented yet. And then I think this guy stole all my fucking ideas.
No.
It's like candy from a baby for him.
Wait.
He was 2 years old.
Wait.
He could barely articulate.
Oh wait.
Yes.
You what? You what?
Really
What?
weird.
What?
What are you doing? Are you making fun of me?
Paula knows what I'm doing.
I don't get it.
We'll explain after. I'll explain later. It's not.
Okay.
It's not ready for this yet. So,
Any other thoughts?
I will say the mom, for a 90s mom that kind of is divorced and she's clearly career focused.
Which is
probably,
a good thing that she had 2 kids.
But it's probably why she wasn't, this is probably why she was divorced.
The 8-year-old was cooking dinner.
That's probably why she was divorced.
And the 8-year-old was complaining about how her meatloaf was drying, so she knows how to cook meatloaf. And then we saw her seasoning a salad, where she had like the ingredients. It was vinegar. She had the ingredients in like nice little containers that she was preparing with. She was being very subtle with it. It was like a little
She's
touch
not like
of craft.
Master Chef at 8 years old.
Yeah, which means the mom hasn't been cooking for a while.
Yeah, and
But the
the
8-year-old
8-year-old
knows what to do. So this mom has been distant. I don't know why the dad
Probably
didn't
all
take.
of her
I don't know
life.
why the dad didn't take these kids, because clearly mom didn't want them.
Yeah, he must have just lost that custody battle so hard.
It's the system
Maybe
we
he's
live in.
maybe. Well,
Favor
we
the
don't know
women,
the
man.
story of their divorce.
We don't know it. He could have been a horrible abuser.
He could have been.
Could have been just mercilessly abusing.
Although I will say, shame on the high school boy for not taking over, for making your like less than 10-year-old sister.
He was busy hacking into the video game internet.
Man, that's just wrong.
He was busy watching screensavers of ladies in bikinis
Gyrating
dancing.
ladies in bikinis. I think that's all I got though. It's really just the mom and the physics of the robot and the realisticness. I will say the work environment though that we showed from the labs, I don't remember the company's name. I would say that's actually probably pretty realistic, just from real world. That's pretty realistic. You have a CEO guy who's just like, hey, I need this thing.
Yes, that was really weird. It wasn't that, hey, I need this thing. It was normally in a movie like this, especially in the 90s, you expect businessman to be the bad guy, where he's like, I want profit. I want money. I don't care what this fucking thing does. I just want it to sell. But he was saying, all I wanted was a toy that kids would like.
At Christmas. I want to sell it during Christmas. Get
Which
this
is
in
like,
living
I want
rooms.
some money, but he's like, don't make a killer sex pervert robot.
Yeah, don't do
Like,
that.
those were like my 2 parameters.
I just need
Don't
this
have it kill people, and don't have it record naked children.
I just need it
And it
to...
looks like you failed me.
Yeah. And he's like, no. This...
I don't know why I hired the crazy ex-DOD dude
Yeah.
to make this robot that he swore wouldn't be a killer sex pervert.
Yeah, so it's kind of ironic that it's not the CEO, but it's actually the builder.
It's the scientist, who's normally the voice of reason in a movie.
Yeah, and it was this role, it was a role reversal, which I do appreciate. It was a little bit, I mean, not really refreshing, but it was a little bit interesting, though,
Yeah.
that you have that reversal.
It was interesting. Which is weird, coming from this movie. I was going to
Weird.
call it a turd, but it's not. I wouldn't even classify it as a turd.
It's not, what would you call it?
Slightly above a turd. Just a fart.
It's just a little toot.
Yeah.
It's a little Rudy toot toot.
A nice toot. Yeah. A little fun. Yeah, a little high pitched. There he is, a happy boy. There he is. That's the one. Okay.
There
Anything
we go.
else?
I think that's it. That's all I got.
All right. So then we do our last question here. Would you recommend this movie?
I would recommend this movie.
We got a yes. Any
I
rationale
thought it was.
behind it?
I thought it was kind of fun. I think that if I were like a preteen in '95 instead of 2 years old, like I could have seen this movie as like a Disney Channel movie growing up, or
No.
like a Nickelodeon.
Not
movie
at
growing
all.
Up. No.
If you cut out a whole bunch of things.
Well, if you cut out the nudity
and the
yes.
horrible murder and the horribly violent murders.
Well, this could have been
and
a
the foul
This
language.
could have been a '95 Nickelodeon's movie without the nudity. I could see this being on TV without cut the nudity.
A Saturday,
You could- 'cause you
a
could
Saturday
easily-
afternoon movie.
Because you could easily make this movie PG.
You could see it like you could picture it if they cut it a certain way, being like Saturday 1 in the afternoon on like the WB.
You could cut this movie without the nudity and without like
The horrible violent deaths and the foul
well,
language.
you could still have the deaths, but you don't need to make it as gruesome. You could cut it in such a way that it can be
Oh,
PG
yeah,
or
for
PG-13.
sure. You could cut those deaths where you don't see as much.
Yeah, like the robot's just chasing him around and then he falls down the stairs and he's dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or the robot, like you just see the car and he just does the thing. You don't need to see the guy. It just cuts.
The
You
car
could see the little
crashes.
finger. You could
Car
see the little
crashes.
finger do that.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
I think this movie is a fun movie.
Fun. A fun movie. I'm putting that in quotes.
It's definitely got imagination of the future in it.
I'd like to remind you that this movie had
Don't remind the people that the movie had high school nudity.
Jeff quoted a fun movie.
A fun movie sans high school implied nudity.
You know, whatever helps you sleep at night.
I tell you what, Kona Kua Bay India Pale Ale helps me sleep at night.
And it tastes not the best. It tastes okay. So that helps.
Are you drinking the same thing? No, you're drinking
No.
Castaway.
I feel like a castaway. I feel like that guy, Tom Hanks.
Alex.
Huh?
Alex,
Huh?
would you recommend Evolver?
Yeah.
Why?
It was alright.
Any other reason?
I'd cut out the bad parts.
What bad parts?
The locker room parts. Yeah.
What happened in the locker room?
What happened? You know what happened. I don't have to tell you about what happened.
What happened?
It was the one where they recorded what were supposed to be children naked.
Gotcha.
That
Yeah,
part. I
yeah.
would cut that.
That's a good
But
cut.
other than that, like, talked about it in the commentary. You have this robot that shoots little foam balls, and they could have been so lazy and just had like the robot pick up the ball bearings and kill everyone by hitting them with a ball bearing in the face, and it would have been so fucking boring and awful.
Yep.
That robot killed everyone a different way.
He did.
Killed every single person that he killed in a different way.
He evolved.
And they were all, except for the 2 electrocution deaths in the arcade,
Yeah.
all the other ones were really fun to watch. And like, I was sitting there, I'm like, yes, push that fucker down the stairs. Like, yes,
Kill him with
like,
the saw.
crush him with the car, hit him with the hatchet. Like, yes, throw that fucking saw blade at him. Like, yes, blow up that fucking car. Like, I kept cheering for that robot to kill these people in fun ways. And they did. They did it. They killed people in fun ways every fucking time. Even when he was threatening to kill people, where he had a laser cage around. Like, that is so
That's
fun.
imaginative. That's
yeah,
imaginative.
it's creative, especially with the kaleidoscope part. It's like really fun. And the mom like tried to climb over it, and her bathrobe caught on fire immediately.
Yeah.
Like, that was fun. It's creative.
What did I say that movie was? I call that movie fun.
It
And
was
you made
fun.
fun of me for it.
It was well. I was just making a joke.
Uh-huh.
Quote both of yourselves.
It was a fun. All the deaths were really fun. It was just and they spaced them out really well. Where if we were getting a little tired, a little bored,
Yeah.
all of a sudden there's a fun death, and you're like right back in it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Agreed. It was. You know what? That's a good point. It did have unique deaths.
It was actually creative.
Well, even the robot, although he electrocuted both players in the VR arcade, they still were different deaths.
They were electrocuted differently.
Yes.
One was just straight, felt the touch of God.
Yep. And the other one was like, I'm going to grab this conduit and shock you with it.
It would have been
on the
cooler if
thing.
the VR machine exploded on his fucking skull and just blew the top of his head off. That would have been way cooler,
It would have been.
but it was fine.
I'm glad they didn't do that, though, because that's not really how it works. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's
not
not how
really how it
electrocution, murder, sex offender robots work. Yeah, it's for
Well, it's
sure.
not really how those helmets work, but
It was fun.
yeah, it was. It was. It made it fun. I actually thought it was really funny that the stoner guy was like, "It's like real life." What?
Yeah, he's fucking because he's looking at real. Yeah, I get it. I liked it.
I did.
That was actually a fun movie, and I'm so glad because you sent me the trailer earlier in the week, and I watched. I was like, this. I just saw the picture before I watched it. I was like, this looks like fucking shit. I watched that trailer, and I was like, this could be really corny, like a cheesy like kids movie, like
Yeah.
a Home Alone with a robot kind
Yeah.
of, right? And it was not that at all. It was not. It was
was
not
a-
that at all. Like they went straight balls to the wall on this. They were like, violent murder.
Robot. Done.
Children will die.
I'm gonna threaten an 8-year-old girl who knows how to cook.
I will have a robot tell an 8-year-old that 8-year-old's throat is going to get, quote, fucking cut.
Bitch.
I am going to put this in a movie, and I am going to sell it.
Yeah.
And fucking sold. Bought it. Loved
Done.
it. Fantastic film.
So, has this been
What?
the ABCs of bad movies?
This has been... You said, has this been?
Has
like
this been the ABCs of bad movies?
It has been. Yeah. You could just say, this has been. Why don't you close it out?
Sure. This has been the ABCs of bad movies.
Has this been?
This has been the ABCs of bad movies. We've watched Evolver. For
What
the
are our
letter E.
names? How do you not know how to intro this fucking show yet?
I
This
don't
is why you
know.
always ask me to do it.
I don't know. This has been the ABCs of bad movies with Alex and Hefe. And we've just watched the letter E for Evolver. And we hope you had a fantastic time. We both recommend this movie. Very fun. And we hope you have a great week. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.